CeCe Winans has been making music for more than 30 years. In today's Studio 5 interview, I sit down with the gospel legend for a look at her latest project and a lesson on how it is a testament of God's faithfulness.
Hey, devil, get behind me. Hey, devil, under my feet.
This old school vibe is just one of the new sounds you can sample on the first CeCe Winans solo recording in about 9 years. It's called Let Them Fall in Love.
Lord, help me, Jesus. I'm wasted, so help me, Jesus. I know what I am.
Your son, Alvin III,
Yes.
did a lot of the producing
Yes.
on this.
And writing.
And writing it. Did you catch his vision immediately?
No. Of course not. Probably about 6 years ago, he came and said, "Mom, I got a great idea for how you should come back out." Because I didn't realize so much time had went by even then.
It was like 9 years. I find
Yeah,
that hard to believe.
9 years from the time of the release, but when he came to me, it had probably been about 4 years.
Wow.
And he shared with me the idea, Mom, it's going to be really cool. My generation is going to love it. So you already know right then. I'm like, your generation? Okay, wait a minute. But he assured me that the lyrics would be bold. It would be who I am, but yet it would be fresh, relevant, kind of a throwback feel in there, And so I was like, oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. But when I finally got it, and it took him a while, trust me. If you talk to him, I'm sure he'll tell you how bad I was. But when I got it, I got excited. I was like, oh, this is going to be really, really good. It's going to be fun, Had all live music, 40-piece orchestra.
Nice.
It was awesome. But I have to say, I knew he was gifted and talented going in, but I found out a whole nother level that I didn't know that God had really blessed him with, downloaded in him. So as a mom, I would work during the day or late at night in the studio, and when I get home, I would just weep and say, God, you're so faithful. You're so faithful. And I saw his faithfulness to the next generation through working with my son.
That's beautiful. And your son helping you and your husband at your church as
yes,
well?
Yes, my son and daughter.
Oh, wow.
Yes, they're both very involved. They're preaching and teaching. So it's a family. It's a family ministry. Yeah, we're all doing this. We were all very surprised by the call, but we've all embraced the call.
CeCe and her husband Alvin Love started Nashville Life Church 5 years ago. It began after her music-producing son invited about 30 friends over to their home for a Bible study.
And we looked at each other, was like, oh my God, all the prophecies started coming to our minds. We were like, this is it. And we started Nashville Life. Nice. So it's a church full of millennials on fire for God. We're teaching them how to be disciples. We're making sure the main thing remains the main thing, and that's just loving God and loving people.
Many people watching are going to want to know, what is your secret for reaching that generation? Because they're leaders in churches and looking out into the audience and not seeing them. What is the key?
Well, you know what? The number one thing, we were birthed out that way. Very diverse group of people, which is awesome. But I think from what we've learned, my husband and I, since we've been pastoring the millennials, is that they just want the real deal. They don't want all the stuff that we think have to be church, the traditional stuff. And trust me, I love a lot of the great traditions, but they want it simple. They just want a relationship with Jesus.
I want to talk about your family just a little bit, the great Winans family. We
Okay.
love all of you. But a surprise to me, I'm sitting at home watching Greenleaf, and I see the Winans last name on one of the lead characters.
That's right.
And I'm thinking, surely not. So then I look. Okay, so your niece is an actress?
My niece is an actress. Everybody thought, they didn't know if it was me, if it was my daughter, my niece. I'm like, guys, she's way younger than I am. Thank you very much, but it's not me. But yeah, my niece Joy is on Greenleaf, and so she's an amazing actress.
Daddy, I think the charity is just trying to...
Gigi! How many times do I have to tell you I don't need you looking out for me?
When she told my mother she wanted to be an actress, my mother's like, oh no. Oh God, let me pray this off quick. Needless to say, my mother is still praying. She's trying to pray her off the show.
I mean, because this show tackles the inside of the church and everything.
It's horrible. It's horrible the way it attacks the church, but we love Joy, and I think she's amazing, and she's up for a stellar. She recorded a song called Master's Call, and it's a beautiful song, and so I applaud her. She has her first nomination and you know, Joy never sang before. People don't know this. She never sang before she did the show. And so she called me and was like, Auntie CeCe, I got to come to Nashville. I said, you come to Nashville for what? I got to go to the studio. I was like, what? And she was like, yes, can you please come help me? Can you please? I was like, Joy, you got it in you. You know, I knew she could sing, and she had to find her own voice. I said, don't try to be anybody else. You're unique. Use what God has given you, and He'll bless it.
Are there any Winans who can't sing? Are there any
None that I know of that just
Wow.
don't sing at all. No, everybody sings a little bit at least.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Last question for you. I know people want to know this. I know you've got a new album out. We're enjoying it.
Yes.
We're loving it.
New record. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Are you and your brother getting back together to do anything else?
That's always the
I know. We have
No. But you know, nothing planned. I mean, it took me 9 years to get back in the studio to do this. You know, my prayer is always, Lord, let your perfect will be done. If it's singing, great. If it's singing with my brother, great. If it's not, great. And saying that, God gave us this church, and it's full time, you know, and I love it. I love it.
CeCe's new project is called Let Them Fall in Love. It is wonderful, and it's available right now.